Hi, I'm Christina Warmenbol, and here today we have an interview for I.D.E.A.L family, which is part of I.D.E.A.L Society in British Columbia, Canada. And today we have here with us Eliana Kirschbaum, who is specialized in working with breath and especially also working with pregnancy. And today, so we have the joy to have a little interview. So, Eliana, would you please give us a little bit more about your background?
Well, hello. My background, well, I want to say that I'm born or was born in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and Buenos Aires means good air. So from the beginning,
Yes, right.
I was connected to this element of air. Yes, then I moved to Germany and where I graduated, and I obtained also my master's in education from the university in Munich. And I taught as a teacher of elementary schools. And then on the path, somewhere I started also the breathwork. And in 1994, I moved to Canada when I was pregnant to this place here, to I.D.E.A.L, to the I.D.E.A.L Society, and I met Natasha Kolesar. And yeah, it was a very blessed time to be here during pregnancy and be accompanied, coached by Natasha Kolesar, who is the founder of this institute here. Yes, I think that's all. Well, now I'm teaching in Fernie also, still teaching
Yes,
there.
yes, you are.
So.
Hey, wow. That's wonderful. So, you're specialized in breathwork. So, how did you come to study that?
Well, I was always very interested in the question who I am really.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning of this path, I started with a psychoanalysis. And well, I finished that, but I realized that it is more an intellectual approach to who I am.
Right.
Then I did another training called Jeu dramatique, and that was more emotional. So I worked a lot with my emotions, was like hopping spontaneously into a role, a character, and play it out.
Role play.
So yeah, role play. And so I got to know very closely my emotions. But when I was done with that, I realized it's still not enough for me.
Okay.
So then I was looking for something more, and I found the breath work. And I realized that this work connects everything together and brings the spiritual aspect of a being also into play.
Oh, wow.
And I really liked that, and I still like it, and I'm passionate about it.
Absolutely. So, so what is this importance of the breath and working with the air? Is this something that is also we can find it in other traditions, in other schooling, like yoga teachings, for instance? So how come? How does that really work in the body? The breath.
Well, I want to start with a quote from the teacher Omram Mikhail Ivanov that we follow here at I.D.E.A.L Family. And yeah, because he suggests also for pregnant women to work during pregnancy very consciously. So yeah, I want to start with a quote from him that connects the breath to our whole life. So he says, "For every human being, life begins with a breath. when a baby is born, the very first thing it must do in order to become a citizen of the earth is to breathe. It opens its little mouth and lets out a cry, and all those who hear it rejoice because the baby is alive. Thanks to the first inhalation, the child's lungs are filled with air and begin to do their work. Life is set in motion. And many years later, when we hear that he has breathed his last, we understand this to mean that he has died. Yes, breath is the beginning and the end. Life begins and ends with a breath.
Oh, that's a beautiful quote. Thank you. So it's really, that's right. We are breathing, in fact, all the time, but in fact, not very consciously.
That is right. So also this connection, we are not conscious, and we are not conscious about the connection that the breath brings us in terms of the universe, because the breath comes from another place. I would call it a higher place. And so when we are conscious about that and receive this breath, we can also receive a message.
Oh,
We can receive a rhythm,
right.
a flow. Yeah. So that's actually what breath brings us: rhythm, movement, flow.
And inspiration.
Inspiration
Right,
with
absolutely.
it, inspiration, and this connection to the universe, to this higher place. So I want also to say that because in our society today we think in terms of owning, but breath we cannot own.
No.
It is a visitor
That's right.
from high above, and it comes and goes.
It's like a gift.
It's
from
like a
life.
gift. Yeah, a gift. And we can receive it, we can be conscious, we can be open, but we don't own it.
No.
And that's good.
Absolutely, yes.
Because like that, it brings this flow. And with flow comes transformation.
Wow.
And breath also, like we understand it in our work, brings us into the present moment, into the now.
Absolutely.
And this is where healing can happen. If we allow all forces in the now, then a healing can happen because they come into a flow and can kind of make an alchemy and come to a different place.
Right, like beautiful. So this method that you use is a method coming from?
It's from Ilse Middendorf.
Okay.
I have a picture.
Oh yeah, we can show that for sure.
We can show the picture. So this is Ilse Middendorf. It's a German teacher who developed that. I got to know her when she was 83.
Wow.
And I was like around 35. And I was amazed how young she was. Not only physically and in her flexibility, but she was so young in her spirit. So, and she taught until she was 95.
Because of the breath work,
Because
she stayed really young.
Yes.
Right.
And she taught until she was 95 in California. And that means something, to take the plane from Germany to California with 95 and teach there, right? So she was a pretty amazing woman. She was also linked, connected to a spiritual movement in India, to Sri Aurobindo in Pondicherry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so what can be obtained? You have already said it a little bit, like the flow, the inspiration, the rhythm. But on the level of physical performance or physical being, like the health? Does it have an effect also?
Yes, if you allow forces to come into the play and into the now, I said already that it will be healed, and it will open up also places in our body that are blocked. Because when places in our body are blocked, normally it's also blocked on other levels. And
right.
so if you let the breath come in there, so it will transform blockages in our body, but also in our mind, in our psyche.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
And so what is it specifically for pregnant women then that you can do with breath?
Yeah, perhaps I should even mention the well-being. This is the first experience we have with breathwork that we just feel well. It's not much, but it's a lot.
Oh, it's the basis of happiness.
Yes. Yes. So and for pregnant women, I would say that first too, that they first feel well, and also breath brings confidence and trust.
Right.
If you take it, like you said before, as a gift, and I said it always comes and goes, it always returns, it never stops, unless we blend it out of our consciousness.
Right.
Then it stops, or we hold the breath. Therefore, we practice this approach to allow the breath all the time. So when we learn to do that, it brings really trust, confidence, and as we both know, giving birth also is kind of a very intense time.
Oh, absolutely.
That you cannot predict and not control. And so having something to hold on, and the breath, like I experienced that through my birthing process, it was always there. It was always there, and I could hold on to.
Absolutely. The rhythm, by the rhythm and the consciousness, just focusing on the
Yes.
breath, it helps the woman to be more relaxed and focused and letting go, bringing her through all the contractions and etc. So yeah, very beautiful.
And perhaps during a pregnancy again, so opening up channels, opening up blockages, getting to know my own rhythm, what it feels, how it senses the rhythm, the movement in the body.
Right.
And also something very important is the realization of the different rhythms of two people. So here, especially of the couple, so that they realize that the mother has another rhythm as the father, and the baby will have another rhythm too. It depends on the landscape that we have.
That's right.
So, and experiencing that empowers us a lot because we can stay in our rhythm. So the father during birthing can be very strong when he stays in his own breath and doesn't fall into the breath rhythm of the mother. And so he can be really a big support in this way.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to say it.
The
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah. And there is also the aspect of bringing oxygen to the baby by
Yes.
breathing better, more conscious.
Yes.
Of course, the pure air. Even if you're not in Buenos Aires, you can find nature just or opening the window at least to do these exercises.
Yes, that is right.
Right.
That is right.
Okay, so in your practice, I know that you work sometimes moving and sometimes also asking the person to lay down.
Yes.
So that's two ways for you to work
Yes.
individually or in group, and moving or just by relaxing and working with the breath like that.
Yeah, so we have those two ways of work with people in a group or on a stool where I sit right now. And we can be more or also just one, and offering exercises that are very much also moving. And then we have lying down on a massage table, and me as the practitioner, I come into contact what we call breath body of the client. So I sense the rhythm, I sense the flow with my hands, and I sense the movement, and I kind of give, well, because it is a dialogue, I kind of give impulsions and to enhance, to improve the whole breath rhythm through the body.
Right, and to neutralize the blocks that might be there.
Yes.
Beautiful. So I would like to ask you if you can just give a little demonstration or a little exercise so that we know how we can work.
Yes, I can give a little exercise that may be helpful. So you need a stool or a chair that is really flat, and try to have a really upright posture, but not strict, because you want to sense your breath. So breath works with, this approach of breath works with the allowing. So we just allow the breath to come and go on its own. In the beginning, it helps to close the eyes, and you just let the breath come and go. And you might realize also that there is a pause. So you have inhale, exhale, and a pause, but it's different for everyone. And just wait that this process happens in you. So you allow instead of controlling. Then you sense instead of thinking. Sense, what does this breath do in my body? How does it move? What is the rhythm? And then just be right there in the present moment with it, every breath cycle. And realize also that every breath cycle is different. You don't have to do anything, not regulate it, not suck it in, not push it out. Just be with it and be in it. And then we have also partners that help us. It's the earth under our feet, so sense it. It supports us all the time, under our feet and under our sit bones. So we can release muscle holding and let ourselves be carried. And there is also around us space, the universe, and the light. Just be open to those partners and let them be equal.
Thank you for that wonderful exercise, Eliana. So yeah, I think you would like to also show something else, like another citation you have.
Yes, yes, and
Please go.
perhaps just to add on that this little exercise can be taken like a mantra for every day. So having this breath with us and all the partners, earth, universe, and light. And then I actually have two more quotes. One from Ilse Middendorf, the founder, and then a last one again from Omra Mikhail Ivanov, the teacher. So from Ilse Middendorf, she says, with practice, we can develop our breathing into an eternal movement that opens up every cell in our body and fulfills our life with never-ending joy. Joy becomes the experience we receive through a breathing life.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And from Omram Mikhail Ivanov. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. The ebb and flow of our breathing is the key to all the rhythms of the universe. When you become conscious of this movement within you, you enter into the movement of cosmic harmony in which you are immersed. Little by little, you feel that your breathing melts into the breathing of God.
Beautiful. So much wisdom in this. Thank you so much, Eliana. And I hope that many women, pregnant women and other people will come to see you work with you.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.